Wargaming, as we talked about in the last episode. And today I'm with Toby.
Howdy.
I won't mention your surname just in case you get doxxed by our 6 subscribers. That's me and my 2 kids, my missus and Shep, and no you.
I think Matt as well.
Oh, right, 7. So we should be getting revenue soon. So if you are watching us on the YouTube and following us on Spotify, you can subscribe on YouTube, which obviously then understand gives us revenue, which obviously being a not-for-profit organization means we can put money back in to make the product better. So obviously hair and makeup.
I'm good to go. I don't know what you're looking at.
Okay. So Toby, you are on the committee for the Westgate Gaming as well as Shep. What's your role here, bud?
I am the vice president of Westgate Gaming, which I feel like is a bit of nothing of a title. But
does that mean if Shep dies?
Shep dies, I think
it's you.
I take control of the club.
There you go.
There may or may not be a bloody coup coming, but
oh mate. Well,
for the time being,
in this crowd with these games, I think it's you play the game of Westgate or you die. That's basically it. Tell us about your journey, man. How long you been wargaming for?
I have been wargaming for 32 years.
Right.
Since I was 8, when my brother Matt, who is with us here tonight, picked up a copy of 2nd edition 40k, and have been gaming since then. I've played many things throughout the years, from most of your typical GW games, 40k, fantasy, Necromunda, which we'll speak to later. Battlefleet Gothic was always a favourite of mine. As I got older, we ventured into other things like Infinity, Black Sails. Tried anything that comes across. I'll give it a go.
And obviously, being the youngest brother out of 4, you took some lumps.
Yeah, a few. It was definitely a good while before I found my own feet in the gaming space. It was definitely just a bit of a punching bag there for a while.
And we obviously met on the 40k scene back in the day, Judgment Day, actually. So my group met your group and been game ever since and been friends ever since. Judgment Day 3, I think that was.
Yeah, and we've both run Judgment Day in various forms.
Yeah. So 40k and Heresy, I think.
Yeah, you ran 40k. I've run it once as a Heresy event.
Yeah. Good times, man. Okay, what we'll do is we'll just kind of go around the room a little bit here, and what we're going to start doing, what we did last episode, was basically just talking about what games and systems are being played on the weekly. It's a bit of a quieter night tonight, obviously coming into summer and after a long weekend. I think people are putting in a bit of family time. So do you want to take us around the room and tell us what people are playing out here?
Sure, can do. So down the end that way, we have one of our Necromunda Campaign games going on between Aaron and Carvey. Then across from that, we have Shep and John, I believe it is, playing Stargrave tonight, which I think the boys are starting to get into that. They had been playing Frostgrave for quite some time, but I think they're making the shift into Stargrave. Then we've got a game of bolt action going on with Gibbo and Luke, not Dave. Don't make that mistake. And then on this end table here, we have a few gentlemen whose names escape me, but they are playing Middle-earth. And then down the end, in the corner, which I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, but we have a board game which was PAX. Hang on, let me look at. Very professional. Let me look at my phone. PAX Pamir, which is apparently, it looks like it's a resource management game about colonialist Afghanistan.
Right.
Which sounds quite interesting. And then it even looks like we've got a game of pool going on down there. Oh, and Blood Bowl 7s as well, with Lane and Lee getting some practice in before Cheeky V.
Very good. Okay, so we'll just touch on that Necromunda game that's happening at the minute, because that's the main focus of this episode. Is that? So Yeah, so, and you are obviously the campaign manager, is that what we call you? The Underhive manager.
I am, the technical term is the arbitrator.
The arbitrator.
Yes, if you're running a Necromunda campaign, you are the arbitrator of the campaign.
Yeah, very good. And let's talk about it. Let's because it's been a while since I played Necromunda. I'm obviously playing as a participant in this campaign with mixed success. No success.
You're fine.
So why Necromunda?
For me, it's one of those games that scratches sort of the RPG light or progression itch. It's not just about winning your games or beating your opponent. It's about, you know, the story of your gangers. You know, as throughout the campaign, as little Timmy the Juve starts his way through Necromunda and becomes the lord of all below him by the end of it, and it's just the stories, the anecdotes. I mean, you can make it a competitive game, but that's definitely not what this campaign's about. We're about the fun and the fluff of it. I want all our players to be enjoying the game, and it's moving away from that sort of competitive scene and mindset that we were both a part of for a long time. And as I get older, I become less and less interested.
Yeah. And of course, some of the restrictions that you've put in place kind of lean towards that. You've kind of, I won't say dumbed it down, but you certainly made a few restrictions in the different style to keep it simple because there's a lot of new people to this system.
100%. Most of the players, in fact, I think all but one, are new to this version of Necromunda. Quite a lot of us, myself and yourself included, played the old 1999 version.
Yep.
But this is for most of us an introduction to this current version of Necromunda. And yes, I did implement some house rules to help maintain balance and just stop people from, not that I necessarily think anyone we have playing in this group would, but just stop people from taking things maybe too far. So there's restrictions on things like heavy and special weapons and that kind of stuff that can maybe cause a bit of a power creep within the gangs.
Mm-hmm. And a couple of restrictions on gangs themselves. Yeah,
some gangs not allowed. Things like outcasts and venators. They're kind of, to my limited understanding, a bit of almost a create your own gang, so you can definitely break that. Also some restrictions on some gangs just purely for narrative reasons that didn't make sense for the story we're telling.
Mm-hmm.
So enforcers aren't necessarily an overpowered gang, but no one was allowed to play enforcers because I didn't want anyone playing the cops, as it were, in this campaign.
Yep. And phase one is just wrapping up now, which is the first 3 games. So tell us how that kind of sets up, well, what it is, that first phase, and then what we can expect in the second phase.
Sure. So the first phase was just free. Everyone played 3 games of just a random matchup. No territory at stake, but at the end, whether you won or lost, you got a territory. It was done for 2 reasons. Narratively, the whole story of this campaign is this sector within the Hive, is due to some earthquakes or explosions, has been uncovered after being abandoned for centuries. So the random matchups was to sort of simulate the gangs bumping into each other as they're discovering the hives and claiming their territory. Mechanically, it helps break up the gang ratings, because in the second phase, we kind of moves to a semi-custom map-based system that I've worked out, which people can challenge based off initiative order, so it'll be the gang with the lowest gang rating gets the challenge first, and you work your way up. So by having those random matchups to start with, that just helps break up the gang rating. Not everyone's at 1,000 to start with. So that's kind of both narratively and mechanically why we had the random matchups to start with.
Yeah, and we got a map.
We've got a map. If I was a good guest, I would have brought it over with me, but it is down over there.
Well, now I've got mad skills in putting this stuff together. You can just shoot me the file and I'll just put it here somewhere, right by there, and that'll be where the map will go, so we can show our 6 subscribers what they're looking at. 7 subscribers, what they're looking at.
I think we can manage that.
Yeah, so that's an interesting backstory. Is that all in the player pack about the earthquake and all that kind of stuff?
Had you... Actually, technically that isn't. That fluff is in the flyer that I did in the lead up to the campaign.
Ain't nobody reading that shit.
Well, I think 2 people did maybe.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, so that fluff was in sort of a bit of a flyer that I knocked up to advertise the campaign, but it isn't specifically in the players pack. The players pack for the most part is based around the rules of the campaign, not necessarily the story of the campaign.
Okay, and you didn't go with my idea for a narrative campaign title, which is obviously the Gnomes of Westgate. You've picked up your own title. Big mistake. And what do you call it?
It's the campaign for the Hive Westgardus.
Or Westgardus. I wasn't sure if it was Westgatus or Westgardus. So I
say Westgardus. Both are acceptable.
Okay, Westgardus. All right, there we go.
Although I will point out, listeners, he is deflecting with the Gnomes of Westgate. That was a D&D campaign that he promised to run at the club, and has yet to do so.
We've got one game in with my 2 kids, and they were gnomes. More through luck than judgment, but there were legitimate gnomes in the scenario.
But they weren't at Westgate.
Westgate members. Just played in my kitchen. Watch this space for the Gnomes of Westgate, probably coming in 2026 with a seasoned D&D.
Or 27.
Seasoned D&D DM, Toby. Because now he's got the bit between his teeth. Always topical. Melbourne Cup yesterday. There's just no stopping him now and just running these narrative campaigns with progression. So D&D is obviously the next step. I think Gnomes of Westgate has a lot of potential.
We'll see about that.
So we'll talk about our little journeys. How has your 3 games gone so far? Have you done 3?
I have played all 3 of mine. I got... First game was a close victory. Hard-fought game versus Mylan and his Cawdor.
Mm-hmm.
My second game was also against Cawdor. And Sherl and his Cawdor. That one, I think I spooked him a little bit and he bottled early.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last round was actually against my brother Matt. And he got the hard-fought win in that one with his Escher.
All right. My campaign so far has been pretty disastrous.
Get the tissues ready.
Yeah. So I got stitched up in game 1. So I was expecting to play Shirl, and I ended up playing Shirl and someone else, which was Aaron. And then Aaron just pretty much smashed us both.
That was the reason that came about is because Aaron's opponent for the week unfortunately couldn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
So
should have been tough shit, really, but no, it was tough shit on me.
Believe it or not, Rye graciously allowed Aaron to participate in his game.
It was already arranged by the time I walked in, but so I've got proper stitched up there. Second game, who did I play game 2? I played Mylan in the most un-Cawdor list ever, with hardly any fire.
That's the great thing about Necromunda. You can play your gangs however you like.
But Cawdor are just stupid.
Apparently not these Cawdor.
Yeah. So that games are fine. The games are absolutely fine here, obviously, but my bottom lip come out a little bit after that one because the post-game sequence in both games was just awful.
There may or may not have been some messages exchanged post-game where I told Rye to sleep it off.
Yep. So there were tears before bedtime. But yeah, I slept it off. And lo and behold, I played James, which is a great game there. And then the same thing was happening again, where I just can't stop rolling on, was it critical injuries or something?
The lasting injury roll.
Yeah, lasting injury roll. So like 3 out of 3, and then it was going to be 4 out of 4, and it was just like... So thanks for stepping in and taking the dice off me and getting my opponent to roll. Actually had a good result then, and it was rubbish. Games are great. Post-game was dice gods, man. I thought I left Nuffle behind with Blood Bowl, but yeah.
Well, you went from constantly killing your own guys with lasting injury, and then when James rolled it for you, which technically your opponent is meant to roll it for you, just we've been rolling our own, James rolled the best possible result where you actually earned experience from your injury. Yeah,
and then magically the bottom lip rectified itself.
Amazing.
I don't know. It's just... whatever gods they are in Necromunda Underhive. You know, I just don't know what to say. So looking forward to the next lot, the next progression with the maps and the challenges and all that kind of stuff.
Be able to start challenging people for their territories, like they'll be able to challenge you for yours.
Yeah. Watch this space, but I'm done rolling dice in that post-game phase, man. I'm absolutely done with it. So, I just rolled high on injuries and crap on money. So I was skint and dead, which is never a good place to be. Skint and dead.
You bounce back.
Should change the name of my gang name to Skint and Dead.
I'm still fond of the Ribena Boys.
No, that was a rubbish name. But he actually picked my gang. So in typical style, I've gone into this without looking at the rules, looking at the campaign, and just turning up, expecting my opponent just to tell me everything I need to do to kill him. Which kind of worked okay in the early practice games. But now there's stuff at stake. People stopped helping me so much, which isn't as much fun. Sheep stations.
I did consider making a custom territory called Sheep Station.
Oh, did you? Well, being a Welshman.
We would have lost credits for owning it.
I got nothing to lose, mate. I got nothing to lose. All right. So how many rounds is this going for? This is going to go into the new year, I'm tipping?
Well into the new year. There's no set amount of rounds. If the players are willing to stick it out, like maybe 6 months, and how many rounds we get in that, sort of depending on how long each round lasts. A poll was just put up, and it looks like we'll try and get the next phase in 3 weeks per round, but there'll be 2 games per round now, so effectively looking to get in 2 games in 3 weeks. We'll see how that goes. So, if we play into, April, May, we should get a bit in. The Mordheim campaign that was run last year into early this year ran for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So I think if we can hit around there, that'd be good. And then there's already talk of the next Mordheim campaign starting when this wraps up. So if we just do a cycle of Necromunda, Mordheim, should be good.
With Blood Bowl typically sprinkling in, and then all the other systems that are being played at the same time, I guess, from the rest. Is there any capacity for, because obviously we've had a bit of attrition with a couple of players dropping out, is there any capacity for somebody who might be watching this and might want to kind of like join midstream to be kind of jumping in?
There's potential. It could be a bit difficult working out territories, and they might potentially start at a bit of disadvantage because the territories are effectively set. There are a couple of sort of derelict areas on the map right now because of the dropouts we've had due to, life getting in the way of some of our members, which is understandable. So there is the potential, but the later in the campaign someone jumped in, they're probably more at a disadvantage they'd be. Not to say that they couldn't do it, and I will do whatever I can to help catch the player up in terms of credits and experience. You can kind of simulate games effectively to get them up to speed that way, but potentially they're starting at a bit of a bit on the back foot in terms of territories they hold.
Fair enough. I was just thinking, like, for numbers rather than Gumbies and things like that, you could potentially, like, give someone a gang if they wanted to join in, give them a derelict territory, and, like you say, give them credits, war gear.
There's definitely a potential for that. Moving into sort of this next map phase, even uneven numbers doesn't matter as much because everyone's sort of challenging, and hopefully most people get challenged. If someone doesn't get challenged, obviously I want to try and have everyone have 2 games per round. So even if we just set up, if 2 players don't get challenged, then they can play each other. There just won't be a territory at stake for it. So uneven numbers don't matter as much going forward. But if someone is keen, by all means, jump to the Discord, hit me up, and we'll see if we can work something out.
Okay.
Just beware.
And we mentioned in the last episode just how good the quality of the tables were. I'll put a few more photos up as we were talking.
Yeah.
On this session, I guess, and Matt's been kind enough to shoot me some photos of his game last week, and we'll take a few more pictures of the game that's going on tonight and throw them up in this cast. All right, cool. Thanks, Tobes. What we'll do is just move on to the next phase of this episode then, which is we've got Big V coming up. I think I mentioned on the last episode that what we're going to do is rotate different subjects depending on what's going on in Westgate World. So remember 2 or 3 weeks we got Cheeky V and Big V. Club's got a really good showing. Not everyone who's playing the Cheeky V is going to play the whole weekend, but there's a few people who's just playing one or the other, and there's a few people playing both. You playing both?
Playing both.
I've asked you that 4 times now.
Believe it or not.
3 times it's been a surprise to me. And what are you running for Cheeky?
For Cheeky, I'm running my gnomes.
Gnomes of Westgate. It's fate.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
So Cheeky is gnomes, that's the 7s, and in the Big V...
Tomb Kings.
And you're going Tomb Kings for the first time.
Yep, I'm intentionally going into Big V and Cheeky V with no practice. Just want to go in, enjoy the weekend, not
throw down.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. So we have for the Big V weekend, which is the 11s, which is played on the Saturday and the Sunday, which I think from memory was 6 games, 3 on each day.
Correct.
And we have got 3 squads because they do a little squad competition there. I think we had 2 squads last year and finished terribly at both. I think we were dead last on one, weren't we?
I do believe your squad was dead last.
Oh, thanks for putting that in.
Not mine.
Yep. Okay. So we've actually got a bit of a mixed bag here. So what I thought it might be worth doing, because I think the next episode we have of this will be post Big V, where we can kind of like look to see how we went and how the weekend went. So I thought it might be good because obviously you were very familiar with everybody that's in these squads, and I thought we might see how these different squads go as a bit of a prediction, and then reflect back to see if we were right or if we were wrong. So I think Lee Tressiter has done most of the legwork with Aaron on divvying up these squads. I think I came in a few weeks back and they said, hey, we've decided who's in the squads, and didn't really have much input into it at all.
Yeah, that was basically Lee, Aaron, and myself as the nominated team captains, sitting around and basically randomly determining who was going to be in everyone's team.
And not being there,
squad.
Who picked these team names? Because they are truly awful.
That was Lee.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them are carryovers from last year in Westgate A team and Westgate Shit Show.
Yeah.
Now we have the third and new team is Westgate Organised.
What does that even mean?
Aaron's the team captain, and apparently he was organised.
Oh.
It's very creative.
Right. All right, let's have a look at the A team first then. You're the captain of the A team. So we have yourself playing Tomb Kings. We have my son Lane, bloodthirsty little git, playing Black Orcs. You got Jerry playing the humans, and you got James playing the Norse. How do you think your team is going to go?
Well, that's an interesting squad because Lane and myself, I imagine, are just going for casualties.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry of his humans will be trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
James could go either way. I think James is there for a good time.
Yep.
But if he can get a few wins under his belt, I'm sure he won't complain about it.
He actually did okay last year. He ran Lizards last year, and I think he was probably one of our highest finishing players.
I believe he was.
Yeah, and Jerry just had a really good showing at Risky Rollers Spring Cup. Got to think of the season there, where I think he actually finished second with the humans. So he's on a bit of a good run at the moment. He played some heavy hitters on the Victorian scene on his way there. He didn't beat them all, but he gave a really good account of himself, obviously finishing second, which is a very, very good effort. Lane did really well there with Black Hawks, pretty much same team with the Black Gobbo as well, and you're dead right. He'll be going for most cash, and did a lot of fouling, won a little mid-round prize, and I think finished most casualty at that event as well. So he's found a team that fits him.
I think the A team will be Lane and myself just dragging down Jerry and James as they try to win, and we're just like
bashing
effort
people out. All right, let's move on to the Westgate Shit Show, which I think I was in last year. So I don't know if that's a promotion or a demotion there, but you got Lee Tressiter as the captain. He's going to be running Skaven. Mylan is going to run Vampires. Aaron Not our Aaron, it's Tressida's Aaron, which I think is from Queensland, also like our Aaron. He's going to be running Amazons. And then you have Cam Orty that's going to be running Orcs. How's this team going to go?
I think this team has the potential to be the highest placing of all of our squads, looking at the players and the teams that they are running. I think everyone there will be going for the win, not necessarily going for casualties. Although with teams like Vampires and Orcs, you could definitely rack up a few casualties.
Yeah, and I think the interest in here is the wild card, which I mentioned on the last episode, is Cam Orty is now dipping his toes into the Blood Bowl tournament scene. I think anyone who knows Cam is on the 40k circuit just know how good of a player he was in that system, and he's recently won our league here. So I'll be very interested to see how he goes with Orcs. I think he could surprise a few people. He's not going to win the event, I don't think, but I think he's in a 160 player field. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him crack top 25 there. See how he goes.
Just putting a bit of pressure on him.
No pressure, Cam. No pressure.
All the pressure.
No. There's no paint scores here either, so we can't even ride soft scores all the way to the top.
There's a painting. Well, there's no painting scores, but there is a painting competition at Big V.
Yeah, okay. Tressida just a fucking also ran. Nuffle's going to bend him over, and Lee tends to do Lee things, so that's the Achilles heel of the shit show, for sure.
This is true.
And then the last team is Westgate Organised. So Organised, they didn't tell anybody the name was or who was in the team. So Aaron's running Orcs. You got Ant running Necromantic. Bailey running Skavens. Or I should say Bailey running anything except Vampires because he was burned really badly in our last league. So Bailey's going to run Skaven, and then myself with Tomb Kings, which is the last ride of the Tomb Kings for me because I've run them at the last few tournaments now. And I'm going to run into Ogres next year, so which is just a stupid decision, but hey.
The best decision.
Yeah. How's that team going to go, do you think?
That's an interesting one. I think that might be a case of, like in the 18 lane, and myself dragging the team down, you dragging this team down. Aaron and Ant, both very competitive players, both very good players. Bailey's not necessarily new to Blood Bowl, but has recently come back to Blood Bowl, so I think is still finding his feet a little bit. Mm-hmm. As you mentioned, didn't go too well with Vampires in our league, but I imagine Skaven will be right up his alley, so, you know, he could get in a few sneaky wins there, but yeah, a few wins to be had there, just not sure by yourself.
Thanks.
No worries.
Thanks. All right, there's a side bet here. So if you're doing Tomb Kings and I'm doing Tomb Kings, there's got to be some kind of bet about who finishes highest out of us.
Well, is it who finishes highest or who gets more casualties? Are we doing it off placing or Kaz?
We can do kind of both.
All right, two separate bets, highest.
Correct.
All right, I'm down.
All right. Okay.
All right, well, in next episode, we'll report back on the winner of those two side bets.
What's the stakes? Loser paints my gnome teams. Gnomes are Westgate. I do legitimately have a gnome team I need to paint.
I've already painted two of your Blood Bowl teams.
The worst hobbyist ever.
And I'm sure they probably won't be the last either.
Okay. All right. So we will have a side bet there. I did a side bet with Aaron last year, which ended badly. As a Queenslander, he won it. And I thought I was doing him a solid by buying him a slab of 4X until I got told that Queenslanders don't drink 4X. Anyway, it took him 6 months to drink them. And then I won the next one, and he bought me this awful beer called Ton. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it. There was a discussion at the time about what he should get you for winning the bet.
Good God.
And I think it was decided on the cheapest, nastiest beer you could possibly find.
It actually started to grow on me in the end.
Oh dear.
Because my tastes have changed since COVID. So I used to do all weird and wonderful wacky beers. Now I'm just a straight up and down lager guy, and there is no straighter up and down lager than Ton, which is just ultimate cat piss, all mid strength and sold in slabs of 30.
So your palate hasn't refined. It's
been nearly a year, and I still got about 5 of them left in the fridge, I think. So I am working my way through them slowly. But yeah, so me and you are on the side bet, and we'll update that in the next episode on on how many I beat you by. Okay, so all right, we're nearly wrapping up here. So what we're doing is now we're just kind of look ahead as to what's on the table. Obviously, the Necromunda campaign is going to go for foreseeable. I'm just looking at the action on the Discord, just what's coming up, and what people are planning here. So some of the channels on our Discord, and I'll see if I can kind of like put the link in the Discord on here as well, just so that people can, if they're interested in something, if there's no existing thread for it, they can post on general. If there is an existing thread on there, they can tee up games, and that's what people have started to do. So we did mention Black Sails in the last episode with Shep, and he's obviously building his fleet, and it looks like a couple of other people have jumped on. Yourself and Matt have got fleets already on this one.
Yeah, so I think it was Matt, Aaron, and myself that, going back probably earlier in this year, sort of kicked off the idea of Black Sails at the club. A few games were played early on, and I think a few other guys, Shep, James, among others, picked up some stuff and have slowly been working on them. And I think a few of the guys are getting to the point where they want to get those lovely sail ships on the table. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think in the next few weeks we'll start seeing a bit more Black Sails happening.
Very good. And the RPG, the D&D RPG channel had a little bit of action as well. So I don't think there was any takers on D&D, but I think Shirl looks like he's a bit of a DM. So he's posted on there, and he's rolling out some Cthulhu, some HP Lovecraft stuff. So and I think that table filled up pretty quickly. So I think they've got as many players as they need on that one. So that one's going to be kicking up shortly. So there haven't been much D&D or RPGs on this club in the past. There's been a little.
It can be tough to organise. It's a bit of a commitment. I don't know. Is this a one-shot Shell's doing, or does it sound like it's an ongoing experience?
I don't know. We'll wait and see, and keep you all updated on that one. Obviously, different board games are happening every time people come here. Just some of the stuff that's on my radar. So I'm gonna on an alternate week when I'm not playing Necromunda, I think I might bring the kids up and roll out some Space Hulk. So we'll just going on the theme of Mordheim and Necromunda, and just rolling out some of the no school like the old school. So I've got everything's painted there. Surprise, surprise, I didn't paint them, but they look pretty good, which is why I didn't paint them. So I've got some bugs and some flesh tearers. I painted my Blood Angels as flesh tearers, so I could use them in 40k. And so I'll roll out some Blood Bowl there. And if anyone's interested in playing, I'll bring my stuff, and we can have some games there. Also, my youngest is wants to play as Nurgle, so the Warhammers. So I'm going to start some one-page rules. So I'll chat with some of the guys who I've known played it before, and I'm going to do some one-page rules so I can roll out.
You get a bit of one-page rules here every now and then. I think Luke Dave, who's currently playing Bold Action behind us, gets that on every now and then. I think Scotty's played it a few times as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
they're the two I'm going to hit up, I think, for a bit of a tutorial, and have a little bit of a chat with them about compiling a list for him and running him through, because at the moment I'm just playing with the eldest, and the young one's missing out a little bit. I have started assembling a Demon Prince over the long weekend for him, and just found another box of Plague Bearers, and I have to kind of knock up. So obviously the downside of this, I got to paint all this shit for him because he's only 9. That's okay. Kind of goes with the territory.
Never too young to learn.
Okay, so stakes of the bet: paint my gnomes and paint my Plague Bearers as well.
He's not learning anything if I paint him for him.
Well, as someone I know used to say, you paint like a monkey in a power cut. So, on a 9-year-old finger painting Plague Bearers, actually, it might work. You never know.
Can't be any worse than some of your attempts.
Yeah, I won't talk about my paperclip orcs again.
I mean, you want to call back to the start of the episode, you talk about my gaming journey. Even before I was gaming as an 8-year-old, I was making scale model airplanes as a 6-year-old. The paint jobs were god-awful, but I made an attempt. Got to start somewhere.
That's it. Okay, man. I think we wrap it up there. So thanks for joining us, and I'm sure we'll meet again.
If we must.
Vice Presidente. And see you all on the next episode.
Cheers.